People describe my work as colorful, eclectic, bold, but also very important, comfortable. I love wallpaper, and I pretty much convince everybody to do some of it. You'll always see great art. And I don't always have clients who have art, but I always try to push them in that direction. The art is the finishing touch that we all need. I'm Danielle Colding. I'm the principal at Danielle Colding Design. This project is really special to me. It took 3 to 4 years to complete. It's a townhouse. When I got the project, it was completely dark. Great bones and great potential, some really great moldings and a lot of scale and drama, but it just wasn't utilized at all. And so when we approached the project, it was really about doing a cosmetic project. The townhouse itself is pretty traditional, but I will say through years of renovation, it was a little bit of kind of a hodgepodge. So my job here was to kind of find that happy medium. The design for the foyer really started with the floor. So I found this kind of amazing black and white graphic tile. It was porcelain. It was like really easy to use. It wasn't really breaking the bank, really functional for them, but it also had kind of an edginess and like an artistic kind of flair. They were always really into art, so I knew art was going to dominate the space. And then the other part that I figured out were the built-ins. They needed closets. I pushed walls back, but I was still able to get them enough kind of built-in closet space. We got them a window seat with like storage underneath. And so it was really about functionality. The powder room is one of my favorite spaces. They have 2 dogs. And so they really wanted this custom wallpaper based on the dogs. And so we did the graphic design for it. We had it printed. So I used this amazing black and white Ansax terrazzo there, and it was like kind of graphic connected to the foyer, the perfect foundation for my custom wallpaper. So it's a really fun space. People love white for kitchens, but sometimes when the space is like dark and uninspiring, what's better than a colorful kitchen? We did wind up expanding the wall in the back, giving them a really decent 4-foot pantry. I found this amazing like India yellow color, this really like ochre saffron. So choosing the backsplash actually came later in the process. We'd had the cabinets installed and we really didn't know what we wanted to do. Obviously it's a really funky house, so I had to come with funky options. And we landed here, and I love it. It's this gorgeous Ansax tile. It has this sort of metallic look, and you can really install it in any way. So you do not have to do this pattern. It can be sort of a variety of shapes, patterns, and colors. So the family room was a real evolution. And in fact, that room was white for a long time, 3 to 4 years. We just kept adding wallpaper. I wanted that cocoony feeling, and I'm a lover of chocolate brown, and I especially love it kind of connected to our, saffron ochre kitchen. And so I wanted that space to feel really enveloping. That's like the main place you're gonna kind of hang out, you're gonna watch TV. And so huge sectional, we knew we were doing this amazing gallery wall, and so it just felt right to add that next kind of layer of a deep color. The stairwell, you have this kind of like center heart of the home that goes all the way up. The client said, we'd love a wallpaper that goes all the way to the top. And that was crazy because every floor is different. And so I was like, how am I going to find something that works with the first floor, that also works with the second floor, the third, and all the way up to the top. And eventually I found the perfect paper that did that, that still feels elegant, still feels classy, feels timeless, but also connects all the space. I knew that I wanted the stair runner to be something interesting, so I chose this really amazing oxblood from Stark. We did this very practical gray woven runner that I've used a lot because it's extremely durable. It just worked really well as a connector for the bedroom floors. I call the living room the salon. It's like, you know, very fancy. So I knew I wanted that sort of like black and dark. The client really wanted a viewing space. He really wanted a big TV. I wanted it to be glamorous and exciting and dramatic, but I didn't want it to feel like all one note. So I got my like perfect black in with this amazing black grass cloth from Studio 4. So everybody always says, right, design is all about the mix, and this room is a really good example of why that's true. You have this sort of like grand, sort of over-the-top room with amazing moldings with a big ceiling height. But then we mixed it with black grass cloth, which is arguably more modern. These vintage chairs were among the first things we ever bought, patterned with an amazing contemporary Ottoman coffee table, all in metal, by an amazing English designer, Tom Faulkner. This is a really classic Billy Baldwin slipper chair, like used in Upper East Side apartments all the time, right? Definitely a much more traditional look. Modern art, really great interpretation for the curtains, right? You have this sort of very like traditional design and then with graffiti on top. So there's something that I love about this mix. The other thing are the chandeliers. These are amazing, and we really wanted the chandelier in the dining room and salon to complement each other, but not to be the exact same. So you have these sort of contemporary chandeliers in a space that's a little bit more traditional, but the furnishings are kind of a mix of classic and modern. You can do it all. So when you come up to the first floor, really high ceilings, it's this kind of pass-through space. And so for us, the main thing was to figure out how are we using this space. And the clients are the ones that actually said, you know what, let's do a bar there. And when they said that, it was like ding, ding, ding. And that's why this work is such a collaboration. I knew that I needed to do something really dramatic and impactful because the space calls for it. Plus, we have this incredible ceiling height. I spent a long time sort of designing it, and there were a lot of layers to it. So I sort of had the first thing, like I knew I wanted a cabinet on the bottom, I knew I wanted open shelves above, right? But that was literally like round one. So I spent a lot of time sourcing cabinets, I looked at metal options, and I finally found this amazing company called Chapter and Verse, and they had this amazing cabinet that was already part of their collection. And when I saw that cabinet, I was like, this is perfect. And so I used their cabinet as the basis because I knew we could customize. To me, it's one of the most successful pieces in the house. And I also just love the process of, if I showed you the drawing from day one to where we landed, like there were echoes, but we just got to so much of a better place. This second floor, because all of the rooms connect, I had to come up with a color palette that would work across 3 rooms, but still like be and feel different enough to feel like I'm not just repeating the same stuff. So once I really landed on the salon first, I really had that kind of color palette of this kind of like Swedish blues. And so I knew that I wanted some of that Swedish blue. And then we went through a few different samples of colors. So it's a very, very, very pale lavender from Benjamin Moore. And then this ivory, and so it sold itself, it was perfect. I do love this office. The wallpaper, for one, is from Pierre Frey, and it's this sort of like scenic mountain views, again in kind of another version of teal. And he already had the Eames, the really classic Eames chair with the ottoman, saddle kind of leather with a teal. And then I'd found this amazing Dodar fabric that I loved with this kind of bright orange. And so it just all came together in this way. One of the first things we ever bought for that office and for the house in general was the antique bar. And we bought that at Eclectic at 200 Lex, and it's like such an amazing piece. And that, along with the eames, gave me really the need for those like orange tones. It felt masculine, but also not like so typically masculine. These color palettes, they can work for everyone. One of the things I love about gallery walls is that there are really no rules. You can mix art of different price points, different styles, a variety of colors, even different framing in the same space, and they feel really great together. Uprise Art is an online retailer. They support emerging artists, and they have all different price points. So anywhere from probably $500 and up. I love it because it's accessible art for everybody. So on the very top floor is her office, my client. So this was really fun. We picked this amazing Cole & Son wallpaper, and then I found the perfect light fixture that had the same kind of mustardy yellow. And that floor was really important for them to not break the bank. So for me, the challenge was, how do I still make it feel really custom? How does it still feel really special and unique? And so she picked this amazing wallpaper where the colors are incredible. I was able to kind of give her this custom feel in a way that wasn't all at a level of like, everything has to be high-end design. It was a great room for that reason. And then over the years we layered in. At first she didn't want a rug, and then we again did one of Stark Smithsonian rugs, really cut out to the room. And you know, at first we had kind of like store-bought curtains, but then I was like, I can't live with them and I need my custom curtains. And so then we added the custom curtains. As a designer, you can't be afraid of messing up, you know, and I won't say it's a mess up. We lived with the store-bought curtains for probably 2 years, right before I was like, I can't take it anymore. Please, please, please let me do my curtains. And it's like kind of the perfect finishing touch. So this is the dressing room hallway that connects the master suite. And even though we use this sort of dark paneling, black basically, it has like a richness and a darkness, but it doesn't feel overwhelmingly dark. We know we want something dark here. There's no reason to really lighten it up. And then adding the grass cloth, adding the picture lights, adding touches of sort of red and warm colors in the space. Especially you see this really camel-y color that works in the grass cloth and in the runners. The runners were actually one of the last things that we picked. It has that element of sort of bringing it together. It's another layer. You need kind of a little bit of a mix match for a space to really feel warm and collected and really feel good for you to be in. So the master, I did embrace this very monochromatic palette. And luckily for me, they loved my favorite color, which is like this really deep greeny teal. In this house, almost every ceiling is painted or wallpapered. And in that bedroom in particular, there is the most gorgeous metallic de Gournay paper. In a bedroom, I really go for zen. So it doesn't mean you can't have color, but I want to feel very relaxed. And there is something about layering similar tones or having kind of one tone in a bedroom that allows your mind to kind of relax. For some people it feels maybe a little crazy, but for me there's actually like a real feeling of zen. And then one of my favorite fabrics in the house are the curtains there. And that is a fabric from Dadar. And so that is, instead of doing more teal, it's an aqua chinoiserie-esque kind of fabric with taupes and grays and really pretty. And the curtains there were just so crucial to finishing it, right? Like we had this great envelope, but without that, without some of the softness, it would start to feel like too many edges, too many hard things. So this master bath, we also decided to embrace the dark. It is an all black bathroom. I knew we were doing all black tiles. We have these amazing tiles, all from Ann Sachs actually. So we ran the shower tiles in a vertical pattern. They have a bit of texture. And then the flooring also. So even though it's black, there's still kind of an earthy element to everything. Like everything has a texture and a nuance. Nothing is just flat. And I think with all of my use of black throughout the house, that was really important, where everything is not like so black or lacquer or feels very glammy. I wanted black that felt still like earthy and approachable. And so the client is the one who said, let's just do the whole thing black. And I was like, okay, let's do the whole thing black, including the ceiling. And then we have like these few little moments of white, which normally in a black bathroom would drive me nuts, right? To have a white toilet bowl. But here it actually works. The toilet, the tub, they're kind of curvy, and then you have a white fixture here. And so somehow those three things work together to make the space feel really cohesive. How I would describe the end result. To me, this is a really fun house. It's really quirky. There are a lot of details. There's amazing art. The thing that I care about most is that it feels good to be here. I mean, this is a house that you want to be here for a dinner party. Like at night, it's phenomenal, particularly on the second floor, like incredible. Even though there's all this stuff going on, it still doesn't feel overwhelming or too much. What I love about it is those little bits of where things are a little off or the color is like, was that quite right? You know, that's what makes it so interesting. That's what makes it so when everybody walks in, they're like, wow, didn't expect this.